Please, as we remain standing, we will sing the anthem, please.
I do the only fairly, our own dear native land. For tribes and tongues they differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians home and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland. The good and deep and sound. Soon the spring fall will turn, clouds of knowledge to advance. Next to serve our cherished goals, self-reliance, unity. Let the nation live with pride. Let's build a world that's truly
There you go.
social justice, equal chances, greatness won't be understood. Guide our people is to know, wisdom says to service them. Never join the right to learn, nor mind that knows. Is the mind of sin.
Please, let's take our seats. Between this series, distinguished professors are present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the one-day workshop of the Incitis Food Project organized by the University of Ibadan in the Living Lab Training Center. I'd like us to recognize the presence of the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Research, Innovation and Strategic Partnerships of the University, Professor Sibisola Oluwatoyin Akintola. And I'd like to invite to the high table the Director of Audit for the University, Dr. J.O. Oluyori. I'd also like to invite to the high table the Head of the Department of Aquaculture, Professor Flora Olaifa. And I would also like the principal investigator of this project, Dr. O.O. Oyebola, to step to the high table. Dr. Oluyori. Thank you. I would also like to recognize the presence of a member of the university resident who are commandeered on our platform that we have to be here this morning. And I'd like to recognize the presence of Professor I.F. Odeshola from Faculty of Technology. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, some of us may know why we are here this morning, but some of us do not know why we are here. So it's my pleasure now to invite the principal investigator, Dr. O.O. Oyebola, to tell us why we are gathered this morning. Dr. Oyebola.
Thank you very much, Ma. Let me appreciate first the BBC Research, Innovation and Strategy Partnership of our university, because on our call we are having this meeting. I want to appreciate please let's put our hands together to appreciate we are here because she threw up a challenge that we are not showcasing what we are doing, and that we should have a workshop where we can disseminate what we have in a way that critical, important people in the university will get to know that there are some things that are being done inside water here. I said inside water because when our department is being moved to this end, the then Vice-Chancellor, Professor Isaac Adewale, said, why would fish be staying on land? We have to take the fishes to the water. And she moved us from the inland, from the renewable end, and brought us to this end. So we are trying to do something inside water, but beyond water. So this morning, I want to appreciate every one of us for coming to come and listen to some of the innovations that we are bringing up from this project. This is the EU project that will be ending this year. But we have had some good stories to tell, especially as your representative, from the University of Ghana representative on the consortium. And so today we are here to get information on what we have been able to achieve. Secondly, the issue or the topic of our project concerns all of us because it is dealing with urban food system, and we are in urban environment. So aside the university deliverable, it has to do with individual getting more knowledge on how to produce healthy food by ourselves within our environment, not using so much high tech, but in a simplified form. So on this note, I want to say a big thank you for the DBC for challenging us to do this. And I was please let's clap for her again. And I want to also appreciate all of us for taking time to be here. I believe our time, the time we're going to spend here, will really worth it by the grace of God. Thank you very much.
Please can we give him a loud round of applause? Thank you very much. To put together a workshop is not an easy thing. This is from a researcher that is very, very in-depth and very interested in what she does. So this is why I said we should appreciate Dr. Oyebola, because at the end of the day, we all realize that we have not come in vain. So let's make his head swell. Please give him another round of applause. Thank you very much. And now we will invite the DVC RISP to give our opening remarks for this workshop to commence. Please let's put our hands together for Professor Chancellor Akitola.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. On behalf of the Vice-Chancellor, the principal officers of this university, I bring you warm greetings. However, I want to acknowledge a few people here. First and foremost, not in any order of seniority, but just that these are people that should be acknowledged. The head of department of aquaculture, Professor Laifa.
Professor.
Professor Laifa, you're welcome. The principal investigator and our host for today. Well done, sir. The director of audit. I hope we're all in order with every chair that we have brought here. We are in order for now. You see auditors, said for now. Better keep numbers on the bottles of water you will drink. You are welcome, sir. My neighbor, Dr. Adeshona, representative of URSDEV. You are very much welcome. Members of staff of the Office of the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Research, Innovation and Strategic Partnerships, thank you for the support. The son of the DVC that is here, I'm not going to ask him to stand, but you are welcome. My friends, the PRO, thank you very much. You are the voice of the university. We thank you. Distinguished participants here today. Without you, we will not be here. So I thank you for coming on time, and I apologize for coming 5 minutes late. I knew that it was a researcher that was planning, and that sometimes you have to do it in time. It is with profound pleasure and a sense indeed of institutional pride that I welcome you all to the University of Ibadan, Africa's premier university, and to this one-day workshop of Incitis Food Project, University of Ibadan. I bring warm felicitations from the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Kayode Adeboade, who has asked me to convey his delight, his appreciation to you. I just want us to know that this gathering is not just a workshop. It is a demonstration of what the Premier University, only the best for the best people, can do. The reason is that we are not only about the theory, but to show you what we can do and how we can reach out to our communities, to translate that which we do in the laboratories into tangible, real-life, touchable inventions, to build platforms on which science and society can speak to each other, to develop a mutual relationship. The Living Lab, for instance, allow me to say, is a concept. I'm not a scientist, so I relate more with the philosophy behind something. It is particularly significant to this institution at this time. A living lab is not a mere physical space. It is a philosophy. It is a recognition that communities which we live are not passive recipients, but that they are co-owners, co-builders, partners in knowledge sharing. It is an acknowledgement that the real world, with all the troubles that we have, particularly in Nigeria, is important to connecting with science. The University of Ibadan's Living Lab, as anchored in the Incitis Food Project, embodies this philosophy, this relationship. The relationship of food systems. If we produce all the food in the laboratory and there are not people to consume it, what exactly is the point? So it is trying to draw in the smallholder farmers, urban dwellers like me, and you, traders, consumers. They are our partners. You are our co-designers. You give feedback on how these our grandiose ideas work or is not working. how it can work for me living in a flat. How it can work for me because I have a backyard of 10 feet by 10 feet, and that's all I have. So this is the kind of research that justifies the investment society makes in a university. Because say what you like, we call it a federal university. Even the society around us has an investment. They have an interest in this university. So having this kind of workshop, this kind of relationship shows that we appreciate you. Why at this time? We are at a time where we should be sober as a nation. Nigeria is confronted with one of the most serious food insecurities in the nation. It is not only in Iran. We have urgent food insecurities in this country. And why? There is like a congregation of factors. Climate disruption, inflation, pressure, post-pandemic, insecurity, Hausa or those parading as Hausa going into our farms, sending people from farmlands. All this is affecting the chain, the food chain supply that has already been fragile since COVID. This is not just a story. There is data that is stacked to back this up. The food project, the Incitis food project, in its focus on inclusive, innovative, and integrated food system, approaches and positions us and provides a solution. Maybe not an all-time solution, but at least a contribution that if those we connect with are able to at least provide something by themselves for themselves at little or no cost, no matter how small this percentage is, it is still a minus from the reality of those who actually need the food, because we all need food. So this kind of participatory methodology that honors the dignity and the relationship of our communities is what University of Ibadan is all about. As Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Research, Innovation and Strategic Partnership, I have the rare privilege of overseeing the university's strategic research agenda at a time like this. The vision of our Vice-Chancellor is clear, that University of Ibadan must position itself as a global competitive research university that is at the same time deeply rooted in the reality and the operation of what is happening in 21st century Nigeria. Projects such as Incitis food projects are not peripheral to this vision. They are key and central to it. They demonstrate that our researchers can compete for and execute internationally co-funded, methodologically rigorous and community relevant research. You will wonder where all this drama is going. It's just to tell my co-PI that he has brought UI on the map of universities in the world that can compete and speak to the West. I am particularly pleased that the Living Lab model embeds the university's research within our community structures that will outlast a single grant cycle. Whatever he has done, even though he says that this grant is ending this year, you that you have come will not end this year. Whatever it is you have learned and the impact it will have on you will not end this year. Amen. Science of the kind that Incitis food project presents cannot be done in isolation. It requires you as our partners. It is cross-disciplinary. I see a number of people here, and I am sure you are not all scientists. The University of Ibadan is committed to deepening this partnership in ways that we can work together and we can reciprocate. To you, our community partners and stakeholders in the food system, to you, budding farmers, I say that your presence here matters greatly. No research solution that does not earn your trust can work, so we need your trust. To our participants today, researchers, postgraduate students, partners who may be online, I hope, community stakeholders, I have a simple but sincere request or charge. Use today well. The workshop gives us the rare opportunity to think collectively, to ask questions, to interrogate assumptions that we have that we can only plant something in the soil, to share learning across ourselves, to be truthful, to be candid, to be curious, to be generous with our experience. If you are a community partner who has done this before, do not hesitate to tell us where our models have helped and where it needs to be refined to fit your reality. If you're a researcher, be genuinely open, having your frameworks challenged by this. As we deliberate, let us keep before us the households that surround us here that probably is 010 or 001, where that one may be bread and Coca-Cola. In closing, I declare this one-day workshop of Incitis Food Project University of Ibadan Living Lab officially open.
Please let it be louder. It is true that Dr. Oyebola has been doing his research, but if not for the TVC RISP, we would not be here today, because it was Dr. Oyebola even said it himself that it was on our insistence that this workshop was put together. So please let's put our hands together again for the greatness. Thank you very much, ma'am. And now, because we have an opening ceremony and then the workshop will continue for the rest of the day, and some people would want to leave because they have some other things to attend to, we would all like to listen briefly to some nuggets that all of us can take away. And so this is why I will invite Dr. Oyebola to speak to us on circular urban food system, relevance, theory, practice, and living lab innovation hub concept. Please put your hands together for him.
See, that also in our midst. We want to really appreciate you. Others will still be coming, we invited other organizations. We are still waiting. So this is just to let us see what we are trying to do, and then later we will demonstrate the innovations that we got. This is integrated and circular urban food system, and it comes from the idea that we are having problem with food system. There is a need for us to produce food. Nutritional security is a question in Africa. It's about, do you have something to eat, not eating well? We are doing soil-based farming, and the rural environment where the soil-based farming is occurring is under threat due to militancy, due to some other Fulani herdsmen and herdsmen kidnapping our farmers. The people in the city need food, but they cannot produce food because the cost of land is high. And then after using it, the value also that they put on it also comes down. So the people in the urban environment depend on food from the village. And this comes at a cost. One, transportation may be an issue. And then when the food now finally gets to the city, it has lost some value, especially the perishable ones. There are some micronutrients that will have gone. In order to keep those things fresh, our people that sell this vegetable, they try to manipulate. Maybe they have some chemicals that make it come up strong. And then we get that, so this is great and it's fine, we buy. And then we take chemicals. And this impacts on our health. So people in the city end up buying food at high cost, but of low quality. And also, people that are supposed to stay in the village to produce, because of the problem of migration, they migrate to the city. So if we are now in the city, what are we going to eat? And who is going to produce for us? So the concept comes on the city that, okay, what can we do to improve the food system in our city? So we started with issues of food system survey in cities. And next. So these are the needs for sustainable food and nutrition, food security, food availability, access, and utilization are key. But we have issues. Approximately, no yet. About 9 million children are at risk of acute malnutrition. And food crisis is already on the go. 18.6 million Nigerians are in trouble for food security. So we need to really move on. Next slide. So we need a kind of a sustainable system, and that is in line with sustainable development goals to end hunger, end all forms of malnutrition, to double agricultural production, and all of this. So we need a soilless system so that we will not be dependent on soil that is expensive. If I want a 1 plot of land farming in Ibadan, at what cost? Somebody wants to use that same 1 plot of land for filling station. So farmers cannot compete with this. So we must have to do our production within the system we have. Next slide, please. So this is the concept. We know that, yes, we want to produce food in the city, but production of food in the city comes with a challenge. And the challenge is how to handle the solid waste and the liquid waste. If I'm producing fish, the water I will be releasing every 3 days is a problem to the community. If I'm producing poultry, the smell of the poultry is a problem to the community. And so each time anybody wants to practice urban farming, the community comes with challenge. And this actually affects the sustainability of production in urban environment. So we are thinking, what can we do to encourage farming in the city and still make it sustainable? If we are thinking that, we must think on how to handle the waste. So, we're coming with the mind of turning waste to wealth. How do we turn the waste to something that somebody can? So we are going from urban waste to urban food and back to urban waste and to other. And that is where circularity comes in. Closing the loop of waste and making everything work together. Next slide, please. So we come with this. We have the waste basket, the insect feed on the waste, and the insect is used to produce feed, and the feed is used to feed our fish, and the fish end up on the table. And the waste from the table also goes back to the basket or directly to the insect. That is the concept of circular integration. There are different types of integration, but this is unique because it's closing everything completely. We can have vertical integration in which we have one product and another one on top, and then this one uses. We can have horizontal integration. We have maize production, and we have poultry production, and then we use the maize and then give it. Then we are using more land. If we are going on this, at the end of the day, when the fish feed on the waste from poultry, the waste from that pond is also released outside. So it's not complete. So we need to get a kind of a circular system that can mop up everything and no smell at all. So, next slide please. So what are the things that we do? Insect farming with conventional agricultural waste strategy, aquaponics of catfish, and various plants. We have tested spring onion, sweet pepper, tomato, lettuce, and all of this. We have tested on our system here. And we have hydroponic. Supposing you are not interested in fish production, can you actually use liquid fertilizer to produce hydroponic system where you have your vegetables and fruits without fish? Then you undertake training and onboard participants that they can also know how we are doing these things and they can actually implement it in their houses. The participants will create and iterate at their site. Now this is where the living lab concept comes in. We give you an idea, we share together, and then we challenge you to go and innovate. Look at waste around you, look at what you can do with this, and come up with your idea. We test your idea with you and take it back to you. You go and demonstrate it, and then we improve again. Continuous improvement. Data, we can make business culture, and then we have preparation for other things. Now, central to this project is the living lab concept. And what is a living lab? How does a living lab operate? Where we are today is not called a lab. It is called a living lab. This training center is a living lab, and it will outlive this project because it is a mindset. It is an idea of let's come together. We have a problem, not only in agriculture. It could be in cosmetics, it could be in production, it could be in community development. There is a problem on ground. Let us come together. Let's think about solution there. Let's suggest that solution will be tested under laboratory condition, and then we call you together again and say, what do we do? And then we say, okay, we have found this and found this, come up again, and then we go on and practice this. Then we come back again and say, okay, that one we practice this one. This is an idea of science that involves community. People that are going to use it, the funders, the co-researchers in different areas. When I'm producing my food, somebody is thinking about social implication. And so that is what this stand on. It is an operation that is authentic. It's an everyday setting thing. If we can come together and come with it, and I need to announce that through the activities of we have living lab in 8 cities in Africa. But today, through our activities, we have established an organization called African Network of Living Lab. If Africa don't have it, then they have it in Europe. And by the grace of God, it is UI that started it, and it is UI that is the current chair for it. So we now have a network of Living Lab where we discuss together on issues that are related to our continent, other than European coming to plan for us. So, it's a stakeholders. Stakeholders are motivated by what they produce and are willing to use it. Not age or gender bias, but objective. What do we want to achieve? Innovations emerged, they were tested, they also underwent continuous improvement and were deployed for commerce. So, from what we do here, we have commercial products that is not based on our own idea alone, but our idea that is embedded in the discussion with the stakeholders. When we get to products, we will see the number of things. So what are our products? We have the simplified low energy pump use aquaponic. What's an aquaponic? This is our aquaponic section, where we have the plants and the fish in marriage. Where we are trying to have crop and we are trying to have fish production, now we are bringing the two together because they have relevance. The fish produce waste, which is a problem for its production in a city, and the waste that fish produce have high level of nitrogen, ammonia, which comes with the smell. So, but the plant has need of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, NPK. So, why can't you bring the nitrogen that the fish is producing as a waste to the plants to utilize? And that's what the aquaponic system is trying to work on. The waste from the fish is pumped for the vegetable. The vegetable take up the nutrients, and the nutrient load drops, the smell disappear. The water is safe for fish to reuse. It is smart agriculture for this time. So the water goes back to the fish again and fish reuse it. While we need to change water every 3 days in fish production, that one has a continuous system. We also look at low cost energy because of the energy cost. Also, for us to bring the cost of this thing down, there are some components of the normal recycling aquaculture system. People in tech will understand this. There are some components like the UV source, like aerator, like everything. From the discussion with our people, they said these are things that will bring cost. We removed them and we tested it and we see that it also works. Zero pump. Can we also exclude pump at all? And so we tried another system where we can allow the water to just flow straight to the plant and the plants use it and it drops down and goes to the bag and the bag uses it again. So in a way, that may not be that good because water still drops out to the environment, but at least the water that gets to the environment is a refined one. Simplified hydroponic liquid fish wastewater for optic. The water we are releasing, if somebody can take it up and then use it for his own farm. If we have a bigger place like this, we can have a setup and then we have agricultural land and then we channel the water from the fish production and it goes there in what we call soluso aquaponic. Then, simplified hydroponic production. This is a system in which even in your bucket, in a bucket, you can produce your vegetables because these are perishable ones. Dutch buckets, raised bed, different methods that we can use in the house to produce. This is purely vegetable production. Then plastic fly production, because cost of feed is high. Because we always say it will not be economically wise for fish to eat fish to grow big. Because humans also want to eat fish. Why will fish and human compete for fish? We must need to give fish something else to eat while the human take the fish. The competition has to go down. So, and we discovered that there are some flies that can actually do that. And so that's why we have the insect here, where we raise the black soldier fly that we can use instead of fish to give to our fish. I'm still coming to a story on that. Black soldier fly, and then biopesticide. It has been observed that some of the frass, when we produce our black soldier fly, the frass has potential as a biopesticide that can be processed into this. Although we have not started working on this, but our neighbor in Kenya, they have produced the biopesticide. We have also gotten some idea on biopesticide that can use from plant sources, which I will still discuss later. People that want to go quickly, you will miss some things. Liquid fertilizer from aquaponic sludge and BSF grass. We are changing the terrain because we are thinking about channeling the liquid water to the vegetable. Then what happens to the sludge? The sludge, which is the solid waste, is also a problem. So we talked about it. The sludge is a problem. The frass, which is what the black soldier fly use and the leave behind, is a problem. So we talked about what does it contain here in our living lab. It's not part of the concept of the general whatever. But our living lab thought about it that this is a challenge. What can we do with it? So we did a bit of studies, analysis of the sludge and of the frass. And we came up with a fact that the two of them can actually complement each other. So we did a complementation, use computer, use similar to bring it together. And then we now have a fertilizer that have a mix of the sludge, creating the use for the sludge and creating the use for the strass, so that the circular loop is closed up. So now we have a fertilizer, organic fertilizer, developed here in the lab here. And we are currently testing it with our amaranthus. When the time comes, we'll go there and then you see the performance of the organic fertilizer. So we want to tell people that you may actually not need to use synthetic fertilizer. We already have an organic product from fish and BSF production. And we are bringing it into liquid form so that people you don't need to carry the weight again. Healthy fish and vegetables. So all what we produce here, no synthetic fertilizer, nothing. They are just straight, close to nature. Remote reporting envelopes. Now, when we have done all this, we encounter issues. One, the greenhouse we begin to experience white flies in the aquaponic unit. On studies, we found out that relative humidity actually puts condition for the white flies to thrive or not. So we need to monitor the relative humidity in the system. At the time also we planted our vegetables, our tomatoes, and tomato refused to fruit and was growing one way or the other. We found out that it's high temperature that we are not measuring. So we thought about it that we need something to monitor the environmental data in our lab. And then too, can we also have this information sent to us? Not until I come to the lab. There are times we come to the sump and the water in the sump is dry, is down, and the pump is already shouting. We don't know. So we came up another innovation. Can we have environmental sensors? And then can we have a way in which we can receive that information as a alert? And we came up with some of our students, and staff also, computer science, in agriculture, they are here, they will make their presentation. And we came up with sensors that will get information on environmental data, and you can just sit there and watch how the environmental data varies in your lab. This is an innovation of the University of Ibadan also. It's not in any other lab. And so we are bringing that up for other living labs to also join up. They will have a pot there, and we can do this for them, and they can also use. These are some of the products. This is a grow bed, different grow bed. When we get there, I will explain more because I don't want to delay. This is the living lab when we first started it. The aquaponic unit without plants. Then, next slide. Yeah, this is the manual system. We have it there. We have removed some of it because it's undergoing iteration again. We want to improve it. But the bed is there. We have plants grown on it. The fish tank is supplying nutrients to the bed where the plant will be used. And the waste comes out here, flows down to our bags. The bags are in the hydroponic unit there. So it's a kind of bringing it in a way to come back. So it flows back to the bag here. Next slide. Yeah, this is the products. You can see the vegetable, organic, healthy organic tomato and vegetables that are blossoming in the aquaponic unit and the hydroponic unit. Next slide. Yeah, for hydroponic unit, there are different things you can use. This is buckets. Now, I think you understand this one. This is pure water bottles that we turn into grow bed that you can use to grow our plants in the house. Little children can play with it, and then we get vegetables to eat in our house. This is a bucket. Just put it inside bucket, and then you have your plants. You can have your tomatoes, you can have any other thing planted in it. And the other one is the raised bed system, which we still have there. We use them. Next slide. Here are plants, tomatoes on our, because when we started, some people said aquaponic system cannot support fruits, vegetables. It's also always good to use leafy vegetables. But we planted tomatoes there, and the fruit was wonderful. Big ones. They are already flowering again. The one we planted recently, they have started flowering in the system. So these are the fruits. Next slide. These are the data that we collected on the production that we have. The survival of the plants are just 100%. They were not dying. And they were having good yield from it. Next slide. Unit for BSL production. The BSL level producer here is a simple design that we can use. Dr. Jiboye is here to tell us more when it is time to produce. Because today we want to make our workshop to be more practical. We just explain step to step what to do, how to do to get these things done. So it's not just about we do this, we do this. We want to explain to you. So we will get to that level and then we'll explain. We engage communities. We are disseminating. We go to workshops and conferences. And these are some of the ones that we have that we have attended. But currently, we have gone beyond this. Currently, we have trained over 200 people here on this concept, and we have organized 2 levels of cascade funding. The announcement for the second cascade funding will come out very soon. What we do is we train people. Whoever is interested signifies, and it fills what we call the onboarding form. The onboarded participants will come to us when they have the time. They will give us the time they come. And whatever we do at the lab at that time, they also partake with us and they share their idea with us and have their own system. It provides technical backstop for people that have adopted our innovation so that we can also follow them up and assist them in what they do. Here is our meeting with the governor of the states in 2024 when we hosted the General Assembly. And then the governor then gave us full support. I don't know whether the representatives is here. The special advisor to the state governor on food security have been here several times. And he also promised to send a representative. If the representative is here, please just let me know for recognition. So we have been moving around and then we have been telling people about what we do, and we are not going to stop. Yeah, we have next slide. Why this workshop then? Why are we coming up with this? One, we want to create awareness. Sometimes we have things around us that can help us when we are not aware. So when we went to the DVC, I went to the DVC and then we got talking and she said, can you just tell me what your project is about? And I said, ma, this is what we are doing this over. And she said, okay, have you engaged university community on this? I said, we have been having training. He said, no, I'm talking about, you are having training for people outside. What about our people? Please let's go out for mommy. She has been she's UI inside our mind. I said, what about our people here? Are they aware? I said, they have been coming. And then you are not invited them. We must have a workshop. So to create awareness, to build technical strength for participants, that you can also go to your different houses and do some of these things and get these things done in your houses. To promote and to motivate community hydration. We have not finished. We still continue. And that's why I say this project can end in 2026. But it cannot end because of what is on ground. We cannot close this center. These facilities cannot end. These facilities cannot end. I will not end. You will not end. So there is sustainability on ground. And so we must be able to communicate to everybody. And my duty is here to tell us that we should not, because you can tell us to pack our things and go. So that's it. At least to have a kind of to motivate community hydration, technical readiness, and business models, because we believe in fisheries management that we are not in fisheries science. It's not a science, it is a business. So if it's a business, it's about input and output. So we must bring models out of it for businesses to come up. From our innovations here, you can see that business ideas are there. Somebody can engage in helping us to distribute our fertilizer, or producing the fertilizer, or producing the organic food. So facilitate personal projects. Now each person can actually undertake some of these projects and moving forward. To link to the media, well, I'm one of those scientists that doesn't show much like going to the media. It's better scientists. The scientists of old always sit in their laboratory and die in their laboratory. But it's like the trend is changing now. Scientists must have to make noise and then go to social media and then go to different places. And so they are driving us out of the laboratory to the public. So we must begin to learn public speaking and all of those things. So it's a kind of linking to the media. This is a kind of agricultural fair. letting people know what we do in agriculture, and the university fair also university getting to know what we are doing, and linked to public NGOs. We are forward reach as NGO, government bodies, associations, and small and medium-sized entrepreneurs to come together and get to have an idea of some other things that they can do. This is important because our innovations are not laboratory or bookshelf innovations. They are practical things that we can do in our houses and improve on it. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Iwola. When he was about to, and one from the head of the department and the other from the director of audit. So I'll hand over the microphone to Professor Olaifa first. Please put your hands together.
The director of audit, all other dignitaries present, and all protocols duly observed. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you very much for coming here today. From the onset of this project, I have been a part of it. So giving that goodwill message is also greeting myself as well, because I am a part of the Incitis project. But yes, I may not be there all the time, but I am a part of it. I want to say that today I congratulate this project for how far we have come. When we started, I didn't know it was going to be this massive, but I had my doubts. But I want to thank God because today I'm really proud to be here. And I also want to congratulate the co-PI of this program, because most of the times I look at him and I ask him, I don't know where the energy is coming from. Yesterday we came in very late in the evening from one program, and I was asking him, he had not eaten us at 4 in the evening. I was asking him, how are you going to do this? But today, I want to thank God for what I'm seeing today. So I congratulate you, I congratulate all of us who are members of this. I congratulate everyone who has been a part of this. And I want to pray that this project, even though we say it's ending, that it will continue to make an impact. It will continue to make an impact on all of us. And our food security is a major issue. Then I want to pray that this project will also continue to make an impact on our food security. That even though we live in cities, we will no longer continue to rely on people to bring food for us from the villages. And I pray that we'll go on from strength to strength and from grace to grace. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's the turn of the Director of Audit, Dr. Oriori. Please put your hands together.
The DVC RISP, Professor Simisola Akintola, please permit me to stand on the already well-established protocol. But then let me recognize the PI, Dr. Iwola, for organizing this kind of event. Please, let's give him a round of applause. And when I was invited for this, this is the second time I'll be coming for this kind of workshop. The first time I came, when I saw the names, I did not understand them. But by the time I came, he took us round, and I learned a lot. I can tell you that I've not recovered from the experience I had that time. So when he sent this invitation, I said I must go there. I must be there personally. Because I've learned a lot of things since I've been coming. There are some things that he has dropped in me personally. Then, apart from that, you see, our invitation also helped even the processing of payment for this project, because it gives us a deep understanding of what the project is all about and even the peculiarity that is attached to the project. Before I will drop the mic, I want to specially appreciate the DVC The reason is, while he was presenting his the lecture, he told us that it was at the instance of the DVC that this this workshop came up. Ordinarily you can have so much to do, but until you blow your trumpet, sometimes people might not hear you. Now that he has invited us, we learn, and you see, learning does not end. Somebody would look at me as if I'm not a scientist, but Dr. Yebola is trying to initiate me to be one. As a result of some of these invitations, so I want to, on behalf of the internal audit department, appreciate you, sir. Thank you for what you are doing, and I want to especially appreciate our DVC for this opportunity. We are grateful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We have Mr. Michael Adeniji here with us. He's been invited to introduce himself to us and then give us a goodwill message. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Standing on the system protocol, my name is Michael Adeniji. I'm especially invited by the doctor. We have been part of this program from the beginning. I think we have attended 2 different workshops. We represent an institution that works with women and justice for women, gender justice. And we have been part of this, and we see that this project has changed a lot in some of the women we work with. It has really touched their lives, and that is why we say anytime there's a workshop, we will come and join it. Thank you very much for coming.
DVC, my distinguished ladies and gentlemen, on that note, we bring the opening ceremony to a close by singing the anthems in reverse order. Thank you.
And we come back.
And then we come back. Please, it's important. You in fact,
we are wasting water, we are wasting nutrients, and then we are also wasting energy. Every 3 days, we must pump water and we must also remove something. You can also see that it smells, and all these are issues around these conventional methods. We kept this as a control for us to see what happens.
This is control.
Yes. Now this is our aquaponic system. This is the aquaponic system. Let's move closer so that you see. You can see the water, the fish there. You can see them, they are happy. The water is clear enough for us to see them. They are not violent. The water is not cold. But what we are doing in getting this is to use simple technology. It's to use simple technology. Water from here, when it gets to this level, flows out. It does not just flow out, it flows out with the solid waste that is there. So we create for people in Texas to taught us some technology, physics in terms of centrifugal force. The centrifugal force is something that rotates, and then the weighty materials will drop to the floor. Then the system, so any solid material, because it has weight, when it gets there, we create a barrel range so that the water comes up and is made to do like this. So the solid there goes to the floor, and we harvest it at that end. That is what we use for sludge. This one has its own, this also has its own. And the two of them, when the water now gets, the one that is not having solid waste is now come up, and then it flows straight. It's from here. You can come and see. It comes from here and it flows down. The liquid one, the one that is not having solid, it flows down. The one that has solid, it goes down because of the way it goes down. So this one moves straight down to that end. This one is harvested through this valve at the base, and it goes to the sedimentation tank. From the sedimentation tank, we can capture the sludge, and then we dry it, and it becomes crumb, which whenever we want to produce our liquid fertilizer, we just soak it with that of the plastic. Soak it. We have investigated the time to soak. So we know the number of hours to soak, and when it is that hour, we begin to use it for our plants. We will show you the result of that. So the fish here, we produce them, and well, I still have some of the sample of the smoked fish. So maybe if they are just small, so we can also have a taste. Not everybody anyway. So the people that came and we were giving them, and they said it's sweeter than the normal one. And I understand why. Because nutrients are the fish lives inside nutrients all through their life. Nutrient is not released. So they are concentrated nutrients. So when this water moves from here, from that to that filter, from the filter, the water in the filter, after being filtered, it moves to the sump at your back there. There is a sump outside there, and that's where we put low energy pump that will pump the nutrient-loaded water to this system. Now, when we get this fish water, we need to create where the plant will survive, and that is the concept of the grow beds. So we have 3 types of grow beds to demonstrate to people that plants can grow on top of water, plants can grow on top of gravel, and plants can grow by just sitting and water flowing through it. That is the concept of these 3 grow beds. So let me move close to the grow bed. You can see the height of the amaranthus on the grow bed and the tomatoes. So this one is actually planted. We use waste also to serve as a stand for the plants. This is cocoa peat. For those of us that live close to where we have coconut and the harvest, when they cut it, that husk is dried, grinded, and put in a kind of a block. That is cocoa peat. So we just take part of it and put it as substrate. I know we know this. This is the cup. What we use to hold cutleries in the kitchen. That's what we cut into this. Just put small one inside, and then you put your seedlings and it grows. These seedlings are telling us to stake them. That's why they are doing like this. We give them stake, to stand up, something like this for all of them. So, and then they go continue. The nutrient they use comes from the sun. This supports, provide a place where you put the substrate, and then the plant grow without any problem. That's the idea. So the other one, the other system is the deep water system. This is demonstrating what happens to Ojuoro, Tonleke Omi. So when plants can actually grow on top of water, what we just have here is the water from the sun also gets there, and then we put our plant in it. This same substrate and same number of seed, and then it flows through the roots. They take what they want, and the flow flows back to the sun. This is the nutrient-filled media, where the water flows to the roots. The water comes on through capillary, and then as water comes up, the plants take their own. As they take it, the nutrients in it to reduce, and then the water is safer for fish to use again. It flows back to the swamp again. So the water in the swamp is a mix of the water from all of these things and the one that is coming from the fish. So there's a system that is diluting itself, concentrating and diluting itself in such a way that it continues to flow and begin to continue. Now we observe the production of fish has two major problems, because somebody we're still going to talk about from problem to solution. Our two major problems: the seed and the feed. The feed is expensive, the seed is not always quality. You can get stock of fish today and then the fish don't grow well. You can get at another and the fish is growing well. And so from our project, we are coming up, we have selected the good ones from our harvest, and we are keeping them as broodstock to be producing our fingerlings by ourselves, instead of depending on people supply us that we don't know what they are coming from. So let's move outside. Yeah, these are broodstocks. All these are produced from our farm, from the project. We select what we have from our project and we are keeping them to use for breeding. This place, very soon we are going to close this place to be a standard hatchery, because it's not yet hatchery, we're only keeping this place. But we are going to create something again for this one. That's why I said the project may end this year, but continue. We are building sustainability already into the system. So all these are from us, and they are being kept for future purpose. Because my area of specialization is breeding and genetics and breeding, and so we have to come to this. And also to announce that in not on this project anyway, but we have developed probes that can separate different strains of catfish. You realize that everybody believes that catfish is catfish, but we have genotypes within it. So we have developed the probe and patented it in this that we can use to separate different strains of catfish that we have. The algae is actually, we gave it power because we are not covering this place. Because they are green. Once they see sunlight, they begin to grow. And that's why the tanks inside were black and some are painted black. So that it will reduce the algae. But that does not stop them. They still have to go. They are part of the ecosystem.
One question. If you want to have a greenhouse, this is greenhouse.
This is greenhouse.
If you want to have a greenhouse,
yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's why we call it greenhouse. That's what we
So we can even have greenhouse.
Yes, we can have it. Yes.
So that as we enter now, the condition will change.
Yes.
Everything will change.
You know, this one doesn't have a what's it called? Ventilator.
Yeah, exhaust.
And we're supposed to have ventilators and everything.
So the real
Because
greenhouse.
we are actually looking at concepts that are not
expensive. Yeah. But eventually you still need greenhouse.
Yes, they need it.
We'll get it.
Yeah, sir. Thank you,
We
sir.
don't take you from your party.
No,
Very much.
So the next step, ma. The waste from
I know you are the.
this one,
I'm following you.
the waste from Dr. Ajiboyeda, The waste from the sludge that I explained.
That's what is semi-liquid.
Yes, it's semi-liquid. It's slurry something. Now, Dr. Ajiboye. He's not there. He's coming. Now, this is what is called the black soldier fly.
BSF.
Yes, it's coming. I think I will want you to speak to it. So this is BSL. These flies, once they mate, they die. Because they don't constitute. So high level of nutrient is being leaked from the feed to the environment. So we harvested this, and then we look at the frass from this one, and we found out the frass from this one has high level of minerals, but low level of protein. So we now did the marriage, join the two and calculate what ratio would be good for us to use. When we have gotten that product, we went to the next level. What quantity of this fertilizer can replace synthetic fertilizer? And that's what we are doing here. We already have the results and we have the repetition. They did the second cycle and the pattern seems good. So we are thinking of replacing organic fertilizer and also the sensor. So the manual of approach there, we just planted this. These are cucumber. Sorry. So they look like this. The water, the wastewater from this bruise cup, and the manual flow to this place and wet. So everything here is not anything. Then I explained to us that we are testing our fertilizer. We ought to have harvested this vegetable, but we wanted to wait till today so that we can see how we can actually do that something like this can happen in our practice. This is the synthetic fertilizer. We have a formula for the synthetic fertilizer formula. This is, can you see it grows big, thick, and the leaves are out. Our own fertilizer, initially we tested it with times 3 of it. You know the fertilizer is concentrated, the extract is concentrated. Raw of our home, times 3 of this weight by weight. This is what it produces. And you can see that it's nearly matching with this, but the thickness and the bigness of the leaf, however, we are taking chemical.
So what about acceptability? If you carry it on to Buddha, they will keep in another name. They'll be afraid.
Because it's bigger.
Yes, they will say maybe it's something.
But that's because they left it.
We left it to prove it. We wanted it to stay to this time. Now, this is times 3.
Okay.
And this is times 6.
Okay.
Wow. So you needed times 6 to get
this. But this is a concentrated one. The material they put together to get this will be far, far more than that. But they are coming with a chemical extract that we can use. So this one actually is like, but because it is located at the head here, wind is affecting. So it's breaking the leaf. You can see the stems there. It's breaking them because they are receiving the wind from this place. This place is protected. So they are nearly of the same height. And this one complements the thickness. Yeah. And of course, we are not interested in the thickness. We are interested in the leaf. Look at the greenness of the leaf compared to this. So we don't really have a reason why we should be taking chemicals when we have the potentials to grow our vegetable to this level, even using our organic materials, and then our environment is safe. We can use different methods to produce it. This is in buckets. We can plant directly inside this. The tech people know how to do all of this. I'm not a tech person. So these are what we put together and we do. Pentecost, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to demonstrate the end note?
Yes, sir.
I think we should leave it for the participants. Otherwise, they would have taken everything they wanted.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Within 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Other thing, but our Director of Fisheries for your state, who is currently present with us today, Olaleye, yes, is Mr. Olaleye. It's in our midst. Let's appreciate it. Thank you very much. I don't know whether he has 1 or 2 things from the state governor. I would like to also have 1 word or 2 from the new director to know where I am going. I'm in the fishing sector. You're welcome, sir.
Let's put our hands together, sir.
It's a great honor to be here on behalf of the University since the inception of this program, you know, if you are delegating for someone, it's normal for you to write reports. Because anywhere you see a civil servant representing the governor, the deputy governor, or any officials, you are bound to write reports. And I'm happy to inform you that since the inception of this program, I was particular about this project because I let him realize that through my reports that there is no household in the urban center that cannot practice this form of agriculture. And he said, wow. He said, you mean, I said, even in your roots, you can produce tomato. He said, how is that all possible? And I told him a simple way. Just connect a pipe from the waste of this fish tank. Let's control the rate of flow into a bucket filled with soil. We put our tomato or tatache or whatever there, watering it, regulated water. And I told him that after 2 months you must start harvesting. So I said yes. I said yes, sir. Just like any other. I said that's beautiful. I said we should encourage every home, especially in urban areas. I said that we also increase food production and reduce what we call shortage in the food supply. And I said yes. So I'm glad that during the course of being a representative of the government in this exercise, and I was also promoted, just like this project has always also been promoted. And everywhere I go, I make sure that I promote this project. So I want to encourage each and every one of us to please spread the gospel according to Incitis, to every other world. Let them realize that we are only fooling ourselves if you want others to feed us. You are the one to feed yourself first. If you don't feed yourself, you don't feed others. But by the moment you feed yourself, you'll be able to feed others because it's out of the heart comes abundance. So I believe that in our own backyard we can have a lot of abundance. Thank you and God bless.
Tell you something, you say the layers feeding off back to the flying ladder. I just want to inform you that I raised about 4 broilers in my house, fed with black sugar fly. At least more than 60% of the feed that they ate from 4 weeks to 6 weeks were majorly of black sugar fly. And by the time I killed 2 of them during Easter period, I had a minimum that weighed 4.8 kg. Wow. Live weight. And what I did was I decided to go and buy frozen chicken, prepare separately in a pot, and decided to add a palatability test. And I found out the one fed with black sugar fly tasted better, sweeter. And I decided to put my family on a test. And I found out the one that was fed, so the one that we bought from outside in a pot was abandoned. I was one eating it because I bought it with my money. So they abandoned that pot and they were trying to take chicken from the other pots. So I'm just trying to encourage you that it's something that we can go into. And I also have a colleague here, Mr. Kere, who can also testify to it. So what we are saying here is that we are trying to introduce us to insect-based feed industry, trying to introduce us to black soldier fly. I want to tell us that there's a benefit. There's a lot of benefits. Number one is that the benefit is that it provides insect protein. I was trying to listen to Dr. Ibala when he was talking to us as the initial part of this program. He said we cannot be using fish to feed fish. And I will tell you what he means, because many of us were not able to ask him that question. If you find yourself in agric industry or fish industry, one of the major ingredients that we use to formulate our feed is the fish meal. So, and that is why he was telling you we cannot be using fish to feed fish, because there will be a competition. And the way out is to find alternatives. And one of the alternatives is to go into insect farming. And one of the insects that we are trying to cultivate is the black soldier fly. And during my course of training you here, we are going to talk about many other insects. It's not only black soldier fly. We have some other insects that we can also go into. Now, black soldier fly or insect farming also provides superior crude protein, fats, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. It also provides job opportunities. I belong to a platform. I think Mr. Kerry also belongs to that platform. They were looking for insect farmer in Calabar, and we just posted it on the platform. And somebody that is not having something doing quickly showed interest. I believe the person has been connected to the people that are looking for insect farmers. Then it also provides income. You can sell the black soldier fly pupa. Now currently a kilo of it sells for 7,500 and 8,000. I think I'm right. It's a lot of money. So if you have about 200 kg, multiply that with 8,000 naira per kg. It's a lot of money. And we decided, we've just started one here now. It's just like 2 days old. And I want to encourage every one of us to be part of this lab. Free of charge, we are not collecting any money from you. You must not miss a day. Once you miss a day, you have missed a lot. So, and it's done majorly because of those of us that sit here. So please, I want us to make sure that we attend this lab every day to see what is happening, so that at the end of the day you will also be on your own. Then it also provides revenue for the nation. As you are getting money, you can also try as much as possible to launch out of this country. And once that is done, you find out you also be providing money for our country. So why insect-based feed? Conventional feed meal, soybean meal are the major protein stuff in fish and livestock diets. So, and that's the major reason why we are not going to insect. Fish meal and soybean meal, they are not affordable. Why? Because of the high cost. A kilo of soybean meal now, a kilo of fish meal is 6,000 plus. So if you are going into formulating 100 kg of feed, there's no way you will not need nothing less than between 30 to 50 kg of fish meal. If you want to double C, you can say 30 kg or 35 kg. But if you want to do it conventionally, you will need nothing less than between 45 to 50 kg. From the total 100 kg of feed that you want to make. You now multiply, let's even say 30 kg minimum, or 35 kg or 40 kg. Multiply by that by 6,000. That's about 200,000 plus. Where are you going to get that money? So it's on the high side. So that's the reason why we are encouraging people to go into insect farming, so that will reduce the cost. If at all you still want to use the fish meal, at least you have something that you can use to augment, and that will bring down the cost of your fish production. Then high cost, the insect protein replaces conventional ingredients. The reason why insect proteins are preferred, I think I mentioned that, because it contains superior proteins. When you are talking about the superior proteins, the essential amino acids, this is not the classroom, I don't want to bother you about the names. But there are two major essential amino acids I'm going to mention. Some of us that have been going to buy fish ingredients, fish stuff ingredients in shops, we call some lysine and methionine. So the lysine and the methionine that we go to buy, they are found in the insects that we are culturing. So why are you not going to waste your money? And if you find out the cost of those methionine and lysine, it's on the high side. It's thousands of naira. In fact, a bag of it you can't afford it. There's no one sitting here that can even buy a bag of those essential amino acids. And these are found in the insects that are found around us, especially the black soldier fly. Then it also contains unsaturated fats like omega-3 fatty acids. My wife at home is using the omega-3 fatty acid bought by my cousin from UK, a lot of money. So what are we saying? If you feed your fish or your livestock with black soldier fly that is containing this omega-3 fatty acids, what is inside the insect goes into the fish. And when you consume the fish, it goes back to you. So, and that's why you must be very careful. The fish in my backyard, I was telling my friend, the director, if you taste the fish in my house, you will not love to eat any other fish outside. It has been part of me. The fish that I will eat throughout the year is at my backyard. He was saying something. Nobody is going to feed your family. I'm telling you, you are to feed yourself and your family. And what you need to feed yourself and your family should be at your backyard. And I've been encouraging people, you don't need to even go to the bush again because of the problem of security. Just at your backyard. On many occasions, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I go out to see my fish. Anytime I hear any strange sound, I go out, just at my backyard. I don't need to be afraid. So please, I'm encouraging us to go into that. Why insect? We are still continuing that. Insect farming is very easy. No noise, no smell. The life cycle of insect is very short. Within a short while, those ones that are there, by tomorrow they will start to. Tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, they'll start to lay. Within 24 hours, they hatch. Less than 1 month, they are already into larvae that you can use to feed your animals live. Or more than 30 days, 45 days, they are into pupa. Or they are into pre-pupa that you can process, that you can also now recycle into formulating your feed, your fish or your livestock. The insect farm requires small expanse of land. You don't need a big land. In fact, I have some people that are using just one room to culture their insects. So you don't need to buy a large expanse of land for practicing your insect farming. Then it also contains other essential minerals, vitamins and food fiber. I don't want to waste time on that. Then the cultivable insects in feed industry. You have the black soldier fly, which is the normal ones that we have been hearing. I want to inform you that it's not only black soldier fly that you can cultivate or you can culture. We have all other insects. We also have the crickets. We have the crickets. In fact, I have a PhD student on that now that is trying to culture insect crickets. So we are trying to do that, apply it back into the feed of fish and see the effect. We also have the grasshopper. I remember when we were young in our primary schools. You know how we catch tata? We do like this. Do like this, and catch. But that is laborious. But what we do now is that we try to culture them massively in millions, in thousands, and bring them back into our farms. We have the house fly larvae. That one is very easy. All that you just need to do, have a poultry, the droppings. You don't need to invite them. They will invite themselves to where you have your poultry droppings. They will lay. Once they lay, you have your maggot larvae. Maggot, you have them in millions, which you can also feed to your fish live, or you can also process. But I want to tell you something about the EU regulations. They try to discourage. For now, there is no other regulation apart from that. For now, they try to discourage feeding your animals with fresh larvae. And I will tell you the reason. The reason is because they are not sure of the substrate that they are using to feed them. Because if the substrate is having contaminants, that contaminants goes back into the feed, goes back into the animal that is feeding them. It's also going back into the consumer, you and I, that is seated. So for now, they are trying to discourage that. What they encourage is the processed larvae. And once you process larvae, you take them into the oven, you process them, they become dry. Can I guess the dried one that we have in the lab? So you process them, which can be the one that you now use to formulate the feed for your fish. You have the mealworm, you have the mealybug, you have the silkworm, you have the waxworm. There are many. Now, I want to interest you into something. The demand of insect protein. Can you see from 2017 to 2027? That's next year. I've been carrying this along with me for the past 4-5 years. But this will expire next year. I will get another chart for you. So, can you see the demand? Can you see that it's rising? It's rising. It's rising until here. Can you see the cost? That's about $43.3 million. So you can key yourself into this. So what we are saying now is that if you have, I'm telling you, if you have, when we were doing a training in IITA, I think it was last year, they thought I was joking. I said, if you have 30 million tons of black sugar fly, I will get market for you. They said, I was not prepared for it too. I just called one of my friends that worked somewhere. And I called him, I said, my friend, if I get you somebody that will be supplying you, I was not even saying 30 million tons, that will be supplying you 1 ton of black soldier fly every day, will you take it? He said it's not enough. He said it's not enough. So that shows that you can also be part of this. There's a high demand. So this is the frass. This is the frass. I'm not going to talk about this. Dr. Ibrahim is going to talk about this. That's the leftover. The frass that you can use as a fertilizer. This is the, okay, we have used, this is the larvae, the processed larvae. So having the logo of our institute there, we produce them. Thank you very much. So that's the demand. Next slide, please. Then the global insect protein markets. Can you see? It's also increasing to 2032. It's also increasing. It's not even coming down. Every year there are increase. Because there's an awareness now that the best bet for us, if we want to make it in the animal industry or fish industry, is to go and look for insect protein. Next slide. What are the constraints? I don't want to go into that. There are so many. Then you call something entomophagy. That's the acceptability. Now, these are the countries where you find out, these insects are being consumed. In Mexico, we have about 450 species of insects
In Thailand, 227. India, 262. DRC, that's 255. China, 235. Brazil, 140. Japan, 123. Cameroon, 100 species of insects. Can you see in Africa? It's coming down. Next, okay. In Nigeria, hardly can you see people consuming insects. Hardly. So, but despite the fact you still have other countries where you have them consuming in large quantity, then you have legislation guiding insect meal for feed. I think I've mentioned that. So, these are insect companies. Can you see this? This is in France. I've decided to crop this so that you will see that they are into business outside. It's only in Nigeria that we are yet to accommodate this. Next one. This is another one. This is another one in Netherlands. Established in 2000. Please, can you go back? Can you go back? Can you see? Can you see the factory? Can you see the industry? Next slide. This is another one. Can you see this? In Colombia, United Kingdom. Next one. This is another one. They have the area they specialize into. Some they are into larvae, some are into feed additives, and different kinds. Next slide. This is another one, Enviro Flies. Established in 2009 in North Carolina, US. They are the leading company in the edible insects market. They produces animal feeds and feed additives from insects. Next slide. This one is Nutrition Technologies, founded in 2015. The headquarters is in Singapore. They are into animal feed and biofertilizer. Can you see? So you can also have your own area that you want to go into. So the next one is Entomo Farms Technology, established in Ontario, Canada. They are involved in insect preservation. What they do, they collect all the larvae from various farmers and they preserve them. And when they preserve them, from there, they take them into cold vans, they distribute them into various people that need them. Next slide, we have so many of them like that. What are our future projections? One, going into introducing more insect species. As I'm standing before you, my own focus has gone beyond BSF. So, and as you are seated here, you should also have it in mind that we have thousands of species of insects that you can culture. So, the next one is to increase the production capacity. When you're talking about that, it's going beyond having 10 kg, 20 kg. We should be talking about tons that we can use for ourselves in this country, and that we can, if it is possible, to also export them out of Nigeria. So, then market expansion. We should also expand our market. Then we should also have diversity. Diversity in the sense that not only fish should be consuming BSF or insects. Our pets, we should have pet food for dogs, for pigs, for goats, for cows, not only fish, for all livestock. So we are talking about animal and fish feed. Even for human, we are not saying human beings should be taking BSF, but there are insects that human beings can take. You need to go to China. All the insects that we are running away from, cockroach, they eat it. Grasshopper, they eat it. All things, they chop. Frog, they eat. It's enough. And you see, that's why we are talking about entomophagy, acceptability. So in Nigeria, let me say in Yoruba, we are anyo, because we have some other things that we can eat. So go to China, lizards, they take it. You said it's enough, so don't let them take it. So we are going to stop here. The remaining aspect we are going in there to talk about the practical aspects, how we can go into BSF. We are using BSF as a case study. We don't want to we have some kind of insects. But BSF is the one we are going to talk about. So for the next 5 minutes, we'll go into the insect trade. So can we follow an insect? But let me tell you about BSF. The BSF, the life cycle is very short. Sure, you understand what I'm saying? Not only BSF, even the maggots from the housefly, very short. Once an housefly lays on the droppings of anything, even the poo of human, within few days, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, you already have your maggots. You have your larvae. So the advantage is that they have a short life cycle. That's number one. They also have a superior protein. When you are saying superior protein, from proteins you have the amino acid. There are 2 different types of amino acids, the essential and the non-essential. But we are talking about the essential ones now. There are about 10. We have the tryptophan, you have the valine, you have the methionine, you have the lysine, you have the arginine, you have the histidine, you have so many of them. There are about 20. So they have those essential amino acids in those insects. And these are amino acids that we go to buy with thousands of naira in shops. So you can easily get them where? In insects. So when you are talking about some vitamins that you spend thousands of naira for, the nutritionist will tell you to go and buy fruits or to grow fruits at your backyard or vegetables. There are some minerals that you buy with thousands of naira. They ask you to go and eat nuts. You get those minerals that you use your money to buy in medicine stores. I think I've answered your questions. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, you mentioned the housefly now.
Yes, sir.
I want to find out what is the safety, because in the past we were told that these are things that carries.
Yes, that's a very good question. Now, when you are alone, I want to advise us to make sure you are part of this production. I cannot talk of everything. Yeah. So I want to tell you that the substrate that you are using is very important. I will not advise you to go to Berry or Uji and go and collect your substrates from the dustbin. Because right there, you see urine, fecal material of human beings, different type of things there. If care is not taken, you carry contaminants, you carry pathogens from that dustbin and bring them into your farm. At the end of the day, what you are producing, the livestock, the fish you are producing, will be contaminated, which will not be safe for human beings. So there's a quality control. And the quality control is that you must make sure that what you are using to feed your animal or your fish, they are free of pathogens. And that is the reason why you must make sure you source for your substrates. And the substrates, they are free of pathogens. For instance, here we use the berry waste. The berry waste is from berry. You can also use wheat offer, you can use sludge of PKC and so many other things. You can use spoiled fruits like pineapple, banana, oranges, plantains, and so on, which you can grind and give to your insects. So that makes you to have peace of mind that what you are using to feed your insects, they are free of pathogens. Thank you. So can we move? Love, making love.
Dictionary Latin.
Yes. Now they started emerging yesterday, and if you come here yesterday, you can easily count the number of flies that have emerged. So today we are having so many of them. By tomorrow, if you come here tomorrow, you'll see almost times 5 of this population. So what you do is that, I told you they lay eggs. When they lay eggs, the egg hatches into larvae, from larvae to pupa, from pupa to prepupa, from prepupa to pupa. It's the pupa that you will stock. Yeah, sorry, I'm not allowed to be using my bare hands. In fact, if I post this to the EU that gave us this grant, they will query me why I'm using free hands. Sorry, hands that is not having gloves. So can you come over to help me? Ronke, come please. Let her be doing this. Where's go and get me a glove. So now we have a tray. Can you see the tray inside? That blue tray. That was where we stored the pupa. I think I will bring out the pupa so that you see when she comes with a glove. Now, can you see a takeaway plate down? Have you seen it? That takeaway plate is having poultry droppings. I will tell you what we are using it for. Now, on top of it, we have a mosquito net. Then we now decide to cut the middle so that the smell can come out. It's the smell that is attracting the flies. Can you understand? Now you see those planks, those pako, those ones are called the eggies. You now put the eggies. Okay, since you are having your, so can you just open from here? Yes, I want them to see the pupa that is stopped. So it's a circle. If it's only when you move closer that you'll be hearing just a small sound. You don't hear anything. Yes, get them. Yes, just a small quantity. Let them see. Yeah, can you see? You would think these are. If you break it, I want to break one now. You will know. You will now see that. Okay, this one has emerged. We have some that have not emerged. You see liquid coming out. Can you see? Yeah. So you can return them. So can you bring out one of the eggies? You see some flies on them. They want to go and lay. So it's the animal droppings. So we should be checking every day. They lay in between these eggies. So, and once we get the eggs, we take the eggs out and incubate. I'm going to talk about that later. So you have. So can you bring out that plate? So that's the animal dropping. Do you know the reason why we put the mosquito net there? Because from where we brought the animal droppings, the poultry droppings, the house flies have already laid on it. So if you don't put something to protect it, they will also emerge and come out, and we have flies, house flies inside. We don't want any other thing to contaminate our cage here. So if at all we are having house flies here, house fly larva here, it should be within here. So the house fly will just be within here. It will not be able to come out. That's why we are having the mosquito net here. So the animal droppings is just an attractant to attract the flies to come over here and lay their eggs. It's not only it's not only poultry droppings that you can use. You can use cow dung. You can use pig feces. Anything that you see that is having an odor to attract the flies is what you can put there. So by tomorrow you see them in hundreds, in thousands on that eggies coming there to lay. And once they lay, you must make sure that every day you check the eggies and collect the eggs. So, and that is why I'm begging you, this lab is free. We are not collecting money. Please come here every day to be part of us. So we have just started this batch now. We want you to start with us and end with us. You see how you are not part of this, but I think I've told you what to do. So, but once they start to lay now, I want you to be part of the lab so that you see how we collect the eggs, how we incubate, how we collect the larvae, how we process. So that's all about that here. Somebody was asking me a question. Say, what is the temperature? When we first started about 2 years ago, these love cages, they were here. And I was having a terrible headache. Terrible headache in the sense that within 24 hours, all these people, they will die. They will not even emerge. So I said, imagine, what is the problem? And I have a thermometer in my office. I just brought it here. And I found out the temperature was very high. Can you imagine the temperature in this greenhouse is different from one part to the other? I just decided to shift the love cages to this side. And I collected another pupa. Within 4-5 days, I found out I have the net filled up with adult BSF. So I now decided to abandon this side and bring them this side. Sir?
So the pupa that you collected,
yes, sir.
You buy it from another organization?
That was initially.
Yes.
Yes.
So okay.
You have to buy from a farm.
You need to tell us that, because
yes.
when you are saying they will attract, me I was thinking we just put the farm this thing inside.
No, you have to go and buy the pupa. You have to go and buy the pupa. But once you buy the pupa, as a farmer, you are not expected to be buying again.
Yes.
You just it's a circle.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a circle.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I said you must be part of
the
this
system.
I decided to get the pupa here before we come around, so that you'll be able to see live insects in the love cages.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to go and buy the pupa. Okay. So once you are ready to go into insect farming, you can come here and get your own pupa too. But once you get the pupa, as a good farmer, you are not expected to be buying.
Supposed to be circle.
You must not stop. You must not terminate that circle. Once you terminate that circle, that shows you have to go and buy a pupa again. So, and it's a lot of money. And I told you it's between 7,500 and 8,000 per kg. Yeah. So we have about 1 kg here, 1 kg here, 1 kg here, 1 kg here. So you must do the calculation so that you know whether you are doing well or not. And let me also give you one information that 1 gram of the egg, 1 gram of egg, you are expected to have about 40,000 larvae. So you should have that, you should preempt that. And once they hatch, the newly hatch, one day, if you weigh it, I have a sensitive scale, it's about 0.001 to 0.003 gram. So you understand? Now, the weight varies. It depends on the type of what you are using to feed the larvae. So you understand? For instance, last week, I'm doing one experiment now, which I don't want to tell you now, because it's a research. I want to come out with the findings before letting the farmer know what I'm doing. So I should not be giving you a false information that is not yet confirmed.
Yeah.
So I decided to get a substrate. And I find that the substrate that I got for the larvae gives me a size of larvae that is about ×3 of the larvae that I am using, that I'm getting from beauty waste. So I'm going to source for that substrate now. So that's why I said the newly hatched larvae will give you about 0.001 to 0.003. Very minute. In fact, you need to put on your glasses if you are using glasses to see them. They are very tiny. Just see some small movement, and between 2 to 3 days you see them growing bigger to a bigger size. So now let me also tell us that if you want to harvest the larvae for feeding them to livestock or to your fish, you must terminate them at larva stage. Once they get to pupa stage or pre-pupa stage, the protein content diminishes. So at larva stage, the protein content is on the high side. So you must try to catch them at that point. So as a farmer, what you do is that you must have large quantity of larvae that you are producing. You can have fresh for your animals. You can also process some that you want to incorporate into your feed formulation. You can also have the pre-pupa that you are using, that you are going to use for another cycle. So it's a cycle.
When you demonstrate it, you will monitor weather condition on your phone. So much to you, Isaac. Thank you. Let's put our hands together.
On how to access some of the parameters we have out there when it comes to temperature, humidity, and anything when it comes to weather forecast or anything you can actually mention. Now, the reason for that is because they're essential for the growth of either aquaculture or even plants or even insects. We know that when the when the weather is not favorable, or when any of these parameters are not favorable, it affects a lot of things when it comes to the health. Even as humans, when the weather is too hot, or when it is too cold, we complain. So it's always good because some of these things actually helps us to make a very good decision. And so I'll be making, I don't know if this is clear. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I think what I will just do is, let me just give you all the URL, the link to the website. We have Incitis, Incitis-food ENV. I don't know if everyone can have access to it. That's one thing, that's one of the things I guarantee. You can be in the US, you can be in Saudi Arabia, you can be anywhere, and then you'll be able to have access to your lab from wherever you are. You'll be able to see how things are going from there. Incitis, that is INCITIS dash, the number dash, food, that's FOOD, EMV, ilab.net. Okay, let me call it INCITIS dash FOOD, which is food, ENV high, that's ENVI, then you have lab.net. So I believe everyone has access to it now. So what we'll be presenting now is more of a SaaS platform, a software as a solution kind of platform, so that we have a platform whereby there can be many laboratories, many organizations that could actually be on it. All you just need to do is to get the sensor and then put it in your lab, and it gives you the information you want based on the metrics that is actually specified. So let me just try to log in. I don't know if I can't even see anything personally.
Okay, let's go on.
Okay, sorry.
You can make it dark.
I can see some background here. I can see background.
We used to have a tablet here before, but it's back now.
Background?
Yes, the background. Then you can explain.
Okay, since you all have access to it, okay, so just click on the sign in button on top. The sign in button on it.
Let me see if there's any.
Are you there? Okay, good. Are you there, please? If you are there, just wait.
Incitis or Incitis-foodmvlab.net. So this is more like the website you see when you come to the platform initially. And you can even, probably for those who prefer the dark mode as well, you can always choose the dark mode. You can view it in dark mode, you can view it in light mode. This is just a website for it to show the things it's capable of doing. At the end of the day, either in light mode and dark mode. Then you can sign in. You can also get started. Get started means signing up. Now, this is one of the beautiful things about it. We didn't just do it for UI alone. We did it to be adopted by different organizations. So if you create an account, after creating the account, the next thing is for you to be able to create the organization with that account. Not like one person is responsible for every organization. And in each organization, you can also create a lab, or you can create multiple labs. And for each of the labs, you can create as many as possible labs. And in each of the labs, you could decide to create the devices, that is the sensors that you'll be getting as well. You can have that, and the sensors will have different parameters that could be checked. So let me just sign in. Since I have an account already, I believe you can all see the screen. So I've been able to log into the account, and from the account, you can see that I have two organizations I created, one for ULININ and then the other one for UI Lab 1. So let's take, for example, now, in the organization settings, I could decide to create more organizations that I want. So I could set up new organizations and the likes. So from the organization being created, all I just need to do is to, after creating the organization, click on the organization, and then you could have different labs in the organization. So we could, let's say for example, I could say, okay, this is a lab, this is another lab, we could have another one anywhere in the world.
Kenya,
Ghana, anywhere in the world. So in the institution where you have anyone there, you can monitor everything happening there from the comfort of your home, on your phone as well. Those I give you the link, it's something accessible as well. So now this is one of the labs, this is another lab, and then we have like 4 labs in the UI. So let's go to the first one, which is the aquaponic lab. This was created by us. And you can see that in the lab, we have one of the devices there. We can create as many as possible devices. And we'll show you how the device looks like. So all you all need to do is to come here, register the device, put the name of the device, put the MAC address, because each device has something unique, which is a MAC address. That's what actually uniquely identifies them. And so for this now, for this device that we have here, by the time I click on it, it will be able to show us reading. So we have 4 parameters in this on this device. We have the water temperature, we have the air temperature, we have the humidity, we have the water depth. So for now, we didn't connect the water depth, but if we want to connect it, we also see readings for it as well. And one of the things that we did, if you look at the top right hand side of the screen, you see that it refreshes in every 10 seconds. You can see this here. Refreshes in every 10 seconds. So after the next 10 seconds, it gives you another reading based on what is available and what is applicable at that point. And you can also decide to change the settings if you want it in 30 seconds, in 1 minute, and the likes. But one of the reasons why we made it in 10 seconds is because, as we all know, and as we all say, the difference between life and death is just something minute. So, and if you know that it's something minute, that's where every second counts. And so in some situation, we have some alert parameters even on the platform, so that when it is going below a threshold, I'll show us that as well. When it's going below a threshold, when it's going above, we should send a notification to you as well, that this is going below, or this is going above, or there's one issue or the other. So if you look at this now, we have, you can see, for each of these, you can see that it has been, there's a kind of variation, even in the chart. So when you come down here, you see the recent readings. This was taken 1:18:56. That's like how many seconds ago? A few seconds ago. So if you look at it very well, before you know it, you can see we have another one which is coming 10 seconds after or thereabouts. So, and that's how the reading continues like that. And even when there's something wrong, so when you start looking at these readings, you don't have, now the way it was inbuilt is you don't have to come to the platform all the time. The reason why you don't have to come to the platform all the time is at the end of the day, if all this reading, everything is automated and the likes, all you just need to do is to come to the alert section, whereby there is a section here called alerts. So that's where you actually set your parameters. I can decide to click on configure alerts. Now I will now say when the water temperature probably goes above or below, you can select either of them. If it goes above a certain threshold or it goes below a certain threshold, you can select which one you want. Then you can specify what the threshold is. So by the time you specify what threshold, you put your email address. We are thinking of putting SMS, but we know that when it comes to SMS, the way it works in Nigeria is 6 naira per SMS. And we could also integrate, could also work with other country codes as well. But the only issue is you'll be charged based on the rates for that country code. So that's one of the things that we're trying to, because imagine your data is not on. You should also be able to get that notification in real time. So that's one of the things. But for now, you can always get the notification via mail. And from the notification gotten via mail, you can quickly check that, okay, this is going below a certain threshold. Probably it's not conducive for the fishes there or something. So you need to attend to it with immediate effect. So, and with that, it actually solves a lot of issues. It solves a lot of issues, and with that, it reduces the rate at which probably death even occurs in any form of habitat. I'm not using fish or whatsoever alone, even when it comes to the environment. And one of the things that we're looking at in the future is to have a situation whereby we can even predict based on the data being gathered. We know that we've seen situations whereby things, probably due to one trend or the other, you already know what it is leading to, probably based on the reading. You already know, okay, this is leading to somewhere, and that's why we have the data analysis that we've always had before, even machine learning, so that you can analyze past data, and then you can use it to predict the future and what is going to happen in that sense. So most of the time when we hear predictions from weather forecasts telling that it will rain today, they are not just assuming that it's going to rain, or they are not just talking out of or talking blindly. It is based on the data collected or the parameters gotten before that actually leads to some of these things. So these are some of the things we are planning to do, and in the future we are looking at the situation where we could even have a mobile app that once it is going, probably for the notification, then once it's going below threshold or anything, it's just, you see shouting and then blinking, telling you that there is an alarm or there is a danger somewhere. So this is just how the platform is. So we could have as many as possible parameters. We've only shown us 4. And these are based on the 10 sensors available. So we could have as many as possible parameters that could actually be integrated or made. So it's dynamic at the end of the day. So we can also show you the setup itself, where we're getting the readings you have here from. The readings is actually being gotten from that place as well, and it's connected. So we can also show you there if you don't mind. But I don't think there's any question. One of the labs there. Okay, sir.
So how affordable can this be made available to farmers? That's my first question. And can we have more parameters like DO and every other parameters, because all these things are very, very relevant to farmers? And my last question is, okay, taking UI Lab as an example. So have you done probably a slight change in any of these parameters that you have done? Probably an increase in temperature, or probably take it out to just have a variation and look at it holistically?
Yes. Sorry, I was also introduced. This was somebody, we worked together on this with Dr. Ebola as well. So we worked together on this project. So, but let me see if I can actually answer some of them. I'll give it to Pentecost to say more about the platform. So when it comes to the sensors, when it comes to sensors, the price varies. So we could have as many as possible parameters that we want, depending on the situation of things at a particular place. I believe when Dr. Ebola came on board, he actually mentioned the fact that NCF were still in some discussions with them. And the reason is because the kind of situation they are in or that they want to call is different from this. So the parameters would actually vary when it comes to that. You understand what I'm saying? So let's say, for example, now if you're trying to check for drought or something, I'm sure you'll be considering probably evaporation and some other things as factors. So all of those things, you don't need it for something like this at the end of the day. You understand what I'm saying? So it varies, it depends on, so the prices for that varies, but I think Pentecost will be able to talk more on that. Then for the aspect which you said that have we tried seeing the probably slight variation, one of the things that we try to do is to see if we can actually remove the water depth and trying to just generating blocks of things to see if the value will change, and it changes in real time. So because we have the sensor somewhere which is actually feeding or sending the information to the cloud, and from the cloud we can actually have access to it. In fact, when we were building this thing initially, we're not all together. I was at home, it was somewhere, Dr. Ebola was somewhere, and we're just having a meeting. You understand? And we could actually visualize how it is going and coming. So you don't have to be there. And all we just need to do is to configure the entire thing, set it up, and we give you what you want based on the parameter you want. We can't just enforce any parameter because we know that there are different situations where different parameters need to be distributed. So Pentecost will pick it up from there.
All right, thank you very much. So to quickly answer your question concerning the costs, that is at the that is the aim of the whole project. Costs, you understand? So in designing and building this thing, the cost is at the back of our mind. So I want you to know that it's definitely something that is affordable. When you check some of these things, if you check online and in some countries, you know these things are very, very expensive and out of the reach of the common man in Nigeria. And that's our aim, to actually see how we can bring down costs and still get results. So as regarding costs, sure. The second question was about
additional parameters.
Yes, sure. you can have as many parameters as possible, and that definitely will also affect the costs. You understand? Because you need more sensors to get more parameters. You cannot expect maybe temperature sensor to tell you or measure rainfall. If you need rainfall, then that sensor has to come into play, and it will be connected and integrated into the system, which then goes to the cloud, and you can see your results in real time, just like I said. And the third question we talk about, yes, we have. If you want to see it, we can go there and we can change something, maybe tamper with temperature or something, and you will be seeing the results. It's being projected, right? You will see the result. Maybe someone can, if we have matches or something, we could just test it and we'll see the temperature change in real time. So, thank you.
And most importantly, this that we have here is something that is needed everywhere, because we can remember some years ago when we were in Spain, we did a project like this as well, that we needed to work with fish ponds. So this is being used anyway, and it's very, very important, because just the same way human life matters, fishes, birds, plants, and all life matters as well.
Thank you very much. Well, let me just have some words added to what they have said. These colleagues are Erasmus scholars. They were selected for Erasmus Student Exchange Program to the UPA in Spain, in which I am the facilitator of the Erasmus program. And the focus of that program is to develop environmental data collection system that will use blockchain, so that managers, fisheries managers, can all have access to the information, especially in the coastal environment, where you cannot even install weather stations. So, but we just install our sensors and then send information to the community, to scientists, to everybody, and everybody can say, oh, this is what is happening in the Gulf of Guinea. And this is what is happening at so this is what I remember when I traveled to Ethiopia, and I didn't know the climatic condition of Ethiopia. And I didn't go with suits. I was a native. As usual, when I travel, I always want to be a native because I don't want to be removing belts. So native, there is no belt to remove, so you pass through immigration and it's faster for you. So I did that, and I got to Ethiopia. I didn't know that I was going to the equator. The temperature in the airport when we landed in the middle of the night was that of ice. But I didn't know. There was nothing to tell me. I nearly died before they came to pick us up. So these are issues that is happening to other living things also that cannot run away. But if we have an understanding of what is happening to them, then we can project and quickly help them out. Let me also take us to another rider today, because what they went to do then was to develop that kind of probe, and that is, they are coming back. I challenged them, and then we set up the team, and this is coming up. Please let's give it. So it's like they came back. There are 5 that went, and this is just 2 out of them. So now, coming to the aspect of the relevance, one thing that farmers need most now is the issue of how to monitor flood. Climate change comes with rain that is unpredictable, water table gets filled up easily, and water level begins to come up. This sensor can monitor depth of water. And with that, when the depth of water is changing, whether it's moving up or it's moving down, you read it from your house. And so the farmer can quickly rush down to the farm to save his fish against flood before the flood carry them away. So it becomes a climate smart approach for farmers. If the temperature is increasing, you are predicting, oh, temperature today should be so. But within the day, we realize that even these days now, within morning to afternoon, temperature can change in such a way that is beyond the weather prediction of the previous day. That is climate change for you. So we need to be smart to quickly act when things are changing. And temperature change of 2 degrees or 3 degrees can actually change the whole scenario of life. So That is the importance. Now, coming to the cost, I am a field person. And I know what I talk about. Most of the time, I'm always, even in my own house, the problem I have with my wife is the problem of cost. I will always ask, why did you buy it like that at once? Are you the one that put it first by yourself? Because I want value for money. So, and I know that most of the time farmers don't really have money. But we can actually assemble the number of sensors that the farmer can access based on his level of income. We already have the platform where this thing is being housed. So, my project does not cover buying sensors for farmers. I would have said, okay, you can buy sensors for 5-10 farmers. Actually, the issue of sensor is part of the innovations of our lab, not of actually the project per se. So, farmers can tell us, I want sensor for this, and this. And we can build that sensor for them and give it a port on the platform where you have access to read its parameters. So it's the system we operate is a flexible one. We are not rigid. We have 4 parameters. You may choose 2, you may choose 5, you may have more. This is even more important because we have so many locations in Nigeria that does not have weather stations. So somebody wants to predict the weather of which village can I talk about? Aroromagidi. And the weather station now is in Apata. And you notice that between Apata and Aroromagidi, you can get to Eleyele and you can get to Dube and there is rain. And get to Sango, there is no rain. And get to so if you are using that prediction, the level of accuracy is low. So where we cannot have weather station, we can have this digital one that give us information about what is going to happen. Thank you. That makes it easier for us to manipulate this. So all what we are doing is turning science to production and turning science to money making. So now, in our whole level biology, what makes a plant to survive? There are some factors. 1, access to nutrients, access to water, access to sunlight, which provides energy for photosynthesis. And the plant must also have an anchor that holds it. Soil is important to plant because soil provides the nutrients, it provides the anchor, and it provides the water. So, what can we do to support plants without using soil? What can we do to supply nutrients to the plants without using soil? And what can we do to supply water to the plants without using soil? Once we can answer those 3 questions, we can actually have our plants grow without soil. And you remember when they taught us biology those days, or agreed, they told us to have, they gave us an assignment to plant beans inside bottle with water. Did the beans grow? Yes. It means that our crop can actually grow without soil. So we operate a soilless system whereby our plants can grow without soil. What do we use to support? We need something fibrous to hold the network of roots that comes on the plant. So we look at waste that we can use for this purpose, and there are a number of them. Something fibrous. We have the cocoa beans, which is like a coconut husk that have been grinded. We also have the coconut husk itself without grinding, just tear it and then put it down. Once it forms something the roots grow around it and it get hooked. But we also need something to reposition, to position the roots to stand. And that is something to hold that substrate. And that's what we call the substrate holder. Whereas the cocoa pits or the rice husk or cocoa husk, all those things, they are called substrates. A substrate must have a substrate holder that will restrict its area. So, when I was showing you that there, you will notice that there is a cup. That is, the cup is holding the coconut husk. So the cup is what we call the substrate holder, and the husk or the coconut pit or the rice bran that we put inside is the substrate. When we have our substrates and the substrate holder, the next thing is how do we get nutrients to it and how do we get water into it. Once we answer those questions, of course, the only thing we are looking for now is sunlight. How do we get water and nutrients? The fish water, the effluent from the fish production has both water and nutrients. So you can just pass that water, either you boil it, either you spray it, either you pump it, it is still getting, once it is getting to the substrate, then the roots of the plant can access it. In that wise, we have provided every condition except sunlight. And so, we position our facility where the sun can come on it. And so, anything that can hold substrate, any substrate that can support the root of plants, and anything that can supply nutrients, coming together gives us an hydroponic system. An hydroponic system is a kind of plant production that does not use soil. Now, kò sí kú tí ò ra jẹ lọ́rùn. Anyway you do this, either you pull, or you cut, or you screw, just for the hen to die. So, you can put your substrate inside buckets. You can put it inside, you can make a wooden vase like that and put it. You can think of anything that you can build together to concentrate your substrate and then provide the substrate and then put your plant inside. Then find a way through which water gets into it. In our system here, you will see that we have pipes and we have some different experimentation we have done. Small hose with screw, and then we pump water into the line. With the force generated, the water comes out of the small pipes and enter the substrate holder. And inside the substrate and the plant can go through it. So we have the Garafa system there, where we have what is it called? This the waste bottled water. You see that? You see that? Yeah. So we put it together, join it together, and then make hope. And then we put, that's what we call decarbonated rice bran. We put decarbonated rice bran as a substrate holder, as a substrate. And then we use the waste bottled water as a substrate holder. And then we can plant our crop on it. Then we have a small pipe that makes the liquid fertilizer to flow into the system. It flows down, and for us to efficiently use the water, we put a bucket down where what flows down will drain. Once it drains, we turn it back again to use again. The water is saved, the nutrient is efficiently used. So, we can use different substrates for our hydroponic. We can use coconut pit, we can use coconut husk, we can use decarbonated rice, we can use sawdust, a number of waste around us that we can just put that can hold the roots of the plant into position, and then the plant can make use of the nutrients that come. How do we get the nutrients? You can wet, you can use sprayer, you can pump. Our facility here, we put a pump there to pump the water in the morning, it flows, everything, and in the evening water gathers at the base, we return it, and then it flows again. So you can use pump, but we also talk about that using pump may be expensive. Let's do manual. So all the plants you see there, we didn't use pump. We were just using sprayer. You just spray in the morning and spray in the evening, and that's what we have that growth. So that is efficient. And so the water you use in the morning, you can take it back in the evening and reapply it again. And then the nutrient goes, then you replenish it, and then you move on. So that is hydroponic for you. You need a system that can supply nutrients, nitrogen and sunlight, and the plant grows. When the plant starts to grow and they're growing up, they need support. But we didn't state this, we didn't put the support there because we want you to see the way it is. In fact, they are overgrown for harvest. But because we are demonstrating, we want to use it to demonstrate. We left it that way. So, for you to support them, for them not to be doing like this, and when the wind comes, it breaks them, you need support. You just tie a rope up and down and train the plant around this, and the plant will stand with the stake. Now, that is hydroponic for you. We can use hydroponic, you can put it in buckets, you can make wooden vases of different type, either circular, either rectangular, or whatever. You have all the stuff that you can put there. You can decide to use irrigation pipes. You have irrigation pipes there, but you do not use it because we are working towards low cost things. So you can use irrigation facilities that you can turn on, and then you measure the quantity of water that comes, and then you put in the system. Now, coming to aquaponic. Aquaponic is production of water organisms alongside crops or plants. Aquaponic, water and plants. In aquaponic system, what we are taking advantage of is the waste from fish is used by the plant, and the plant help the fish to reuse their water. So there must be nutrients for the plant to use. So in doing your aquaponic, you must first of all ensure that the nutrient is available before you plant. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So you don't start both the plant and the fish at the same time. You must run your fish system for like 1 month so that nutrient or 2, so that nutrients will have accumulated in the water, trying to provide food for the plant that you want to transplant. It follows human concept. Before you get married, you must have gotten food for the wife. Am I correct? So there must be a provision of the food for the plant before you say you are bringing the plant to the system. So you can have your layout. Probably you want to use pipe network like this. You have this normal pipe that you use in toilets. That is the same thing that we have here. Find a way, make a hole where the holder will stand, and then put the holder inside. Once you put the holder inside, the holder must reach the base of that pipe, because that is where the water will flow through. Once the holder touches the base of the pipe, and you have the substrate inside the odor. You remember our biology, capillarity. Water will move through the capillary holes up to reach where the plant root is. So the plant will take nutrients and water from that to grow by itself, because plant roots has affinity for water. So, how do I plant? You can plant directly. These ones that you see, we planted them directly. Seed inside. And of course, you know, there will always be human error. When you have 3 or 5 stands coming up, 6 stands standing on up, we have to prune them down to 1, so that we will not have too much competition. But you cannot compare the number of plants we have per square meter here with the number of plants we have per square meter in the soil. This is high concentrated spacing. So, it gives us opportunity of taking advantage of the space, and instead of growing our farm horizontally, we are going vertical. We are going towards heaven. So, now, the nutrients, the substrate is there, the plant is there. How do we get the water? The water must even first go there before you put the substrates and the water, because now sure that the water is coming. For you to be sure that your plant will get enough food, you can test for conductivity of the water. You remember conductivity in your field too. Conductivity measures amount of solids that is inside the particular solution to indicate how the electrolytes are available. And our substances are always in cation and anion form when they exist. Am I correct in chemistry? So what we do here is we do all the sciences, those chemistry, physics, biology. But the only thing we don't do is additional mathematics. So now, the water is flowing already. The substrates already have water in it wet. Then you plant. After you plant, the plant will sprout, and then you don't have any problem again. No weeding, you just look at them grow. The sunlight is there. If you look at the aquaponic unit, you see that there is a side of it we have a black covering. At the other side, there is no black covering. If you notice the black covering area, that's where we have the fish. Can you see from there? Can you see the roof from there? You can see from inside the aquaponic too. You will see the black area and the white area. The white area, you will see that we have plants there. And the black area, we have the fish there. Please look at this one, the first one there. So what we are saying there is that you will see now that the catfish like darkness because they are mud catfish. Whereas our plants need sunlight. You can't do marriage and take the husband into consideration without the wife. It has to be the two. Please permit me to be your marriage counselor this afternoon. So both husband and wife need to survive, and they have peculiarities. So we have to take care of the peculiarities. That's why we covered the fish side and we left the plant side uncovered for them to be okay. And now they are telling us, okay, you do well. So that's where the two can work fine. Now, because we are using pump, and the pump has their fins, that fin, if solid material gets into it, the fin of the pump will get blocked, and then the pump will get spoiled. And the feed we are given to fish has both the nutrients, fiber, undigested material, everything together. If we allow the water from the fish tank with all those solid material to flow to the pump, it will block the pump. Therefore, we find a way of removing the waste. letting only the water that has the nutrients to flow to the hydroponic units. But how do we do this? Because the solid in the water goes down. How do we bring it up to come out? Otherwise, you'll be pumping water as if you want to pump only the water. The solid that you want to bring outside the water still stay there. And once that solid stay there, they will be decomposing, creating opportunity for low oxygen level for the fish. Because the oxygen in the water will be used by that material to decompose. So, how do we do that? We must get the solid waste at the base outside. If we allow the water to just flow out like that, those ones stay there. What can we use to bring it up? And that answer is, should we use another pump? What type of pump are you going to use there that will not pump your fish with the water? Another question is, if we use pump, are we not also increasing the cost of production? So we try to use manual lifter, solid lift, that will lift the solid from the base. That's what you are asking for. That will lift the solid from the base through a column and then it pass out to the system. So we can create a kind of a column like that can do such. So that kind of system, it has to be in a way that we give pressure, because something to put something on must have pressure. We must create pressure. So we have a capping at one end and a U at the other end and a pipe that comes up. That pipe is straight up. The capping here, we push water as it gets there, push it back, and the thing comes back to the column and rises up. So the solid on the base mixes with the water and comes through the column. Once it comes up, we can harvest it the way I explained the other time. You remember when we went at the... Oh, did you not go with us inside the aquaponic? Some of us did not go. I think we can do that practical. Let's just go in and see that, and then we close this session. We have T here. The T means that water from down come up, and when it gets there, it comes there. If I need to clear this line, if it is blocked, and I need to clear it, I can just close this and create pressure. See, it can stop. Then I open it. It comes with a force and it clears the line underground. See, come and see, come and see. See them coming. It means that two that are waste on the floor and they are coming out. How did they come? How did they transit? What happens to it? I'll remove the components. When I came the other time, some of the boys have worked with this and they have kind of Can you see the waste inside? So we perforated this thing in such a way that when the waste gets there, it gets into the walls. I said we have to create pressure. How? We created the pressure. We also created a closed end here. So once the water gets here, with all that solid material, it enters here. It doesn't have option there because we are laying it on the floor. We are feeding here. We put this across, so it cannot cross to this side. So it captures it. So once they get here, so anytime there is this pressure created here, it is those solid materials that have rested here that will move up. So they move up this line and come here. At this place, we said don't trap anything, it's just moving. So the water, since the water has come here, the water will find its own level and go. Once it gets to this place where there is opportunity for it to come out, it comes out, and so it comes out. So this is the magic that is taken to this thing. This is the power for it, the cap, and the close end, and this is the. So, supposing we still have some waste on top that did not go down, that is what we take it. You know, we calculated that one also, and the line also goes to this tank. It goes to the filtration chamber there. It also serves as a kind of emergency or to prevent overflow. If you see this water now, it is clear because what is moving is not there. So the system is back. Check there, you will see that materials will go. Any water that flows out of this place is going into the sun for it to form in the plants. It's a simple system. But is it not simple? It is simple. It's not. It doesn't. It's not seriously. It's not seriously. Because, for instance, I'm not an engineer, and 3 days ago I asked the students. I have proposed I asked them to clean the filtration chamber, and they cleaned it. After cleaning it, they misplaced the pipes. So I came back and I saw it, and I put everything back. It's a simple process. Something must take water in, something take it out for each of them. And then emergency exit that will take everything from here or from anyone must be filtered until they enter. That's what is creating the circular impact. That's what is creating. So the water, anything that comes from surface now, it comes inside this place. Once it comes inside this thing, this one takes it. When this one takes the solid, the condition is there. It doesn't prevent it to move out. This one moves. So if all these ones, they are the one that is rising from the base, and we pack them every day and just dry it for consumption. We stock 100. We stock 100. As you have it here, it's 100. We started with 1 million. The